Some stories aren't about revenge. They're about rising above, about finding peace in places where only pain lived once. This is the story of a small-town girl who had every reason to hate, but chose to forgive. And that changed everything. In a quiet corner of rural Georgia lived a girl named Emma Walker. She was 25 when this story was told, but her journey began long before. Emma lost her mother at the age of 4 in a tragic car accident on a rainy morning. Her father, Thomas Walker, devastated and overwhelmed, remarried 2 years later. His new wife, Denise, brought along her own daughter, Kayla, who was just a year younger than Emma. At first, it seemed like a fresh start, but soon, Emma realized she was more of a maid than a stepdaughter in her own home. While Kayla got new dresses and fresh toys, Emma received her leftovers, hand-me-downs that barely fit, dolls with missing arms, books with pages torn out. Her father worked long shifts out in North Carolina, only visiting home a couple of times each month. When he was there, Denise pretended to be kind. But the moment he left, it was back to orders, chores, and cold glares. Dishes, laundry, mopping, grocery runs. Every chore in the house fell on Emma's shoulders. And school? That was just a luxury in Denise's eyes. She was often told that girls don't need education, just good husbands. But Emma quietly refused to believe that. Despite Denise's strict grip, Emma found her way to school every day. But studying? That happened late at night, under a dim lamp, when the whole house was asleep. Books she borrowed from the school library were hidden under her mattress. Notes were scribbled between grocery lists. Every spare second between chores was used to chase a dream she didn't dare speak out loud. She wanted to graduate with honors. She wanted to become someone. And she did. While Kayla, who had tutors and the full attention of her mother, walked the stage with an A average, Emma graduated top of her class, A+ across the board. Her teachers couldn't believe she had done it without any outside help. They later said she had the sharpest mind they'd ever seen. When the results were mailed home, Thomas happened to be there. He cried when he saw Emma's name on the top of the honors list. That night, he took her out for ice cream. It was the first time she saw him beam with pride in years. Denise? Furious. Jealous. She slammed kitchen drawers, muttered bitter things under her breath. Kayla didn't say much either, just rolled her eyes and stayed in her room. From that day on, Denise's bitterness toward Emma only deepened. She began speaking to her with even more venom. A month later, Denise had a new obsession: getting both girls married. Denise found Kayla a wealthy young man from Atlanta, Brandon, son of a real estate developer. Handsome, rich, charming. Kayla was married off in a lavish ceremony with over 200 guests. Emma, on the other hand, was matched with Noah, the local grocery store owner's son. Quiet, humble, ran the register 6 days a week. Their wedding was small, barely 10 guests. No music, no decor, just love. Emma didn't complain. She liked Noah's honesty, his smile, his willingness to listen. He treated her like a partner from the start. And when she moved into the tiny apartment above the shop, she brought nothing but her books, her dreams, and a heart full of hope. 3 years passed. Kayla's glamorous life shattered. Brandon lost his fortune to gambling and bad investments. He drank, got arrested once, and eventually abandoned her. She returned to her mother's home, broke, bitter, and ashamed. All the sparkle she once flaunted was gone. Emma? She and Noah turned that little grocery into a thriving business. Emma handled marketing, accounting, and vendor deals. Noah worked the counter and built customer loyalty. Then they opened a bakery. Then a second store. Then they bought a plot of land and invested in their own brand. Emma even took night classes in business management. Their names became known in the county for being generous employers and kind neighbors. Local news once did a story on how a small-town couple built an empire from scratch. One rainy afternoon, Kayla walked into Emma's store. Her makeup smeared, clothes soaked, holding a small suitcase. "I have nowhere else to go," she said, barely meeting Emma's eyes. Emma didn't speak for a moment. Then she nodded. "Come upstairs. You're staying with us." That night, she told Noah, "We don't repay cruelty with cruelty. We rise above." Over the next 2 weeks, Emma and Noah helped Kayla get back on her feet. They connected her with suppliers and gave Brandon, who had returned and promised to change, a small delivery van and enough stock to start a side business. Kayla cried the day she saw the keys to her new place. "I never deserved this," she whispered. "Maybe not," Emma said gently, "but you need it. That's enough for me." Denise visited the store once. She stood at the door, stared at Emma's stocking shelves, then quietly walked away. She never apologized. But she never stopped carrying the weight of her own actions either. Every wrinkle on her face looked like regret etched in time. One day, months later, she fell ill. A minor stroke. She was bedridden for weeks. Emma visited her, helped arrange for a nurse, sent meals every day, even sat with her sometimes in silence. Denise once whispered, "Why are you doing this? After everything I did to you?" Emma replied, "Because I know what it feels like to be alone, and I don't want you to feel that way." Emma could have taken revenge. She could have thrown them out, turned her back, gloated. She had every right to, but she didn't. Because real strength isn't in getting even. It's in choosing not to. It's in trusting that what you give to the world comes back to you tenfold. Because forgiveness is not weakness. It's power. The kind that changes lives. If you believe forgiveness is the highest form of strength, share this story. And tell us, have you ever met someone like Emma? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real stories that remind us the heart remembers, but the soul decides what to carry forward.